Hello, hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your collective July 2022 Tarotscope. If you're curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. Now, I do want to share with you all that intuitively this month, it's been showing up a lot in the Zodiac Tarotscopes of self-care. Like, I feel like this is really at the forefront of our consciousness throughout the month. I feel like for many of you, you may have started some sort of exercise routine, eating better. Maybe you're quitting smoking or drinking or some form, excuse me, of like substance or something like that. Maybe you're trying to make healthier or better decisions for your body. I feel like this month we're really getting in touch with our body, and I feel like our bodies are at the forefront, right? This vessel that we have, taking care of it, showing ourselves love, filling our own cup. I feel like this is really important throughout this month, and I feel like in doing so, we're going to have some pretty profound realizations about what brings us happiness, what is fulfilling to us, what brings us joy, what makes us want to keep going, essentially, right? I feel like these are things that we're going to be learning as we explore and experiment with different things and getting comfortable and sitting into our bodies, right? I do feel like your bodies will be speaking to you, right? Like, oh, you may be feeling like called, for example, to change some things with your routine, right? Maybe get some more sleep, stuff like that. I do feel like there's been this kind of push, if you will, from the universe to say, hey, your vessel is important, okay? Or your avatar, your human body is important and it needs your attention. You need to fill your own cup. You need to give back to yourself. So I wouldn't be surprised if throughout the month of July you found yourself or find yourself being a little bit more focused on what is best for you and what feels good for you and pursuing that. Okay, let's take a look at the cards. I'm really excited to jump in and see what July has for us. We are going to be looking at some activations taking place throughout this month for the collective, how that might show up for us, getting some clarity on that, and finally getting some prayers from our angels so that we may be better equipped to deal with anything coming our way. So let's jump right in. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, spirits, guides, angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, what activations do we need to be made aware of throughout the month of July, please? What activations do we need to be made aware of for the month of July 2022 for the collective? What are we experiencing this month? Thank you. Is that it? Yes. Wow. Okay. Seems pretty important. Let's get some clarity on this activation, please. How might this activation be showing up for us this month? How might this activation be showing up for us for the month of July, please? How might this activation be showing up, please? This one too, yes. Okay, is there more? Yes. How might this activation be showing up, please? This one. I feel. Oh, and these. Okay, is that it? Yes, okay. Interesting. Can we have some clarity on how this may be showing up? Thank you. How might this be showing up, please? Can we get some clarity on how this activation may be showing up for us for the month? You guys, I just got like really, really hot, like body temperature hot. And oftentimes when that happens, that is a sign for me that the angels are around us and with us, those heavenly beings, as we tend to call them or refer to them as, being around us throughout this month. I feel like that presence is very strong. I also feel like the divine creator, the Father, God, whatever it is that you would refer to it as, thank you, is also around us pretty strongly as well. Wow, look at how these cards are just like flying out now. Are there more? Yes, okay. But it definitely feels like we are surrounded and supported this month. And I feel like our team, our, you know, our ancestors, God, all of it wants us to know how supported we are, wants us to know that we're protected, wants us to know, yeah, thank you, that things are happening for us, not to us, that we are growing and changing throughout this month. Wow. That came flying out. Is there more still? Wow. There's a lot of cards coming out here. Like, I'm an intuitive shuffler, so I often, you know, stop when I feel it's time and I'm asking, like, do we have more? And the answer keeps being yes. So I feel like big changes are happening throughout the month of July. And to be honest, I feel like the final 6 months of this year are going to look different than the first 6. That's too many cards. Come on now. I feel like it's going to look different. Not for everyone, but for quite a few people, I feel. Anything else, please? Clarity on how this activation may be showing up for us throughout this month. I feel like there feels like there's more cards in here. Where are you? Where are you? Thank you. That one there. All right. And what would our angels like to share with us for the month of July 2022, please? What do our angels want us to know? Yes, thank you. I love this deck, you guys. The angels are very chatty, and so it's often really easy to get cards. And yeah, thank you. And I feel like they love sharing with us the ways that they can help us or what's going on behind the scenes. Thank you. So that we can grow and learn and also understand that we are not alone. Thank you. More still, yes. Okay. What else would the angels like to say, please? What would they like us to know? For some reason, I feel like the angels are heavy around us because for many of us throughout this month, I do feel like our faith is being tested. I feel like we're going through things where we're like, oh my gosh, can we really? Like, why are we dealing with this? Why? What is going on? Right? And I feel like, thank you, that it's this energy of like your faith is being tested. So I do feel like there could be a breakthrough coming, you know, potentially maybe after we move out of July, through the final like 5 months of the year. We'll see, right? Anything else from the angels? I get a yes. Where is it? What else would the angels like to share, please? Any messages? Okay. They came out. We're taking them. That was probably loud. I'm sorry, guys. I don't realize how loud this table actually is on camera. All right, so let's start out with the activation we have. We have Orion activation, supernova, recreation, renewal, rebirthed by light. Interesting, because I did say that I was feeling like throughout the remainder of this year that things may look a lot different, right? And that could be because we're going through this stage, right? This recreation, renewal, rebirth, right? I feel like this is big energy. And I do want to, I'm going to read the book for you guys on this one. Okay. And please remember that this is a general reading for the overall collective. So take only what resonates with you, leave the rest, okay? And simply because there may be something in this reading that does not resonate with you, that doesn't mean that this is not for you, right? There could very well be messages in here for you, right, that do resonate. So please be mindful of that. So we have here, let me just get this page ready because I'm going to have to flip it. All right, it says here, Orion is one of the best known constellations in the night sky. Pardon me, we do have fear energy coming up. So I feel like whatever this Orion activation, like however this is playing out in your world, in your experience, I do feel like there's a stimulation, if you will, to release fears. Okay. Let's see here. It says its name is Greek for hunter, and its stars can be seen as a figure with a sword, accompanied by a dog, Sirius. At the center of the constellation, 3 stars appear in a belt-like formation. I'm not going to repeat them because I'm going to struggle to say them, so I apologize. To the south of Orion's belt, there's a nebula that has revealed much about how stars and planetary systems are formed. The best way to describe this space is as a star nursery. During a star's evolutionary stages, it explodes into a supernova, which provides the perfect space for a new star to be born. This is interesting. The Orion constellation is home to a number of higher beings, many of whom are, dedicated to the evolution of our planet. Even though the idea of the constellation being a hunter may make it seem highly masculine, its energies are in fact similar to those of the Lemurians, and its inhabitants therefore honor all beings. The beings of Orion are in fact sacred space holders who help all of those with star power and star potential to make the changes required to become the most ascended and aware form of themselves. See, I told you big things are happening. Oh, wow. Wait till you guys hear this. Oh, and I just looked up at the camera and we're at 11:11. You guys, you cannot make this stuff up. So 11:11 is often correlated with awakening, right? It's often like correlated with that energy. Also, in numerology, 1111 is a number of really being able to manifest quickly, like your thoughts and things, like almost instantaneous manifestation. So I do feel like there's a door open here for this to take place. And while you may not see these manifestations show up throughout the month of July, I feel like you will see them, and probably a lot quicker than what you have anticipated, right? You may have like thought like, oh, this is never going to happen, but boom, there it is. Right? It's like it just shows up all surprised like, okay? But wait till you hear what this says. All of your fears, which I got that burpee fear energy before I even, like, as I started reading, right? As I started sinking into the energy of this card, I got that energy right away. All of your fears and setbacks are being stripped from your energy now. Thank you. It is essential for your old way of being to fall away and for you to go through a process of renewal in order to move forward. The old stories of your life aren't yours to live out or live up to. You are far greater than these limiting experiences. The beings of Orion are surrounding you now, and they see you as one of them. Someone who has been born with the knowledge that they can live with great purpose and make a real difference in the world, whether on a global scale or in a particular corner of the planet. When you draw this card, you are being reminded that you have infinite star potential. That's pretty profound. And I want to lovingly say that if you found your way here, there's a reason. Okay? There is a reason. Something here is for you. And I do feel like if you found your way here, like what I feel like saying is like, this is for you. This message right here is for you to let you know, even if this is as far as you get in the reading and you're like, okay, there's nothing else here for me. I feel like this is here for you to say, you have infinite star potential, right? Powerful. Okay, let's see how this might show up. We have a lot of cards to go through. So let's get started. What do we have here? Oh, you guys, we have released the petals. Again, with this re-energy, right? Transformation, death and rebirth. Again, rebirth energy. Shedding, all change. You guys, I've been, if you're in my membership group, I have been saying this all month, for like a month, right? For like a month, I've been saying this. It feels to me like the second half of the year is going to look different than the first. And this is likely why, because we're going through all of this re-energy, and this is confirmation, right? This card showing up here, this release the petals, is essentially God saying, I said what I said. Period. I said what I said, right? This may show up a lot differently for each of you, right? Like what it looks like in your physical world, the things that you're shedding, the deaths and rebirths taking place, the transformations taking place may look very different for each of you. But the overall experience that's taking place amongst the collective right now is this energy of rebirth. And I do feel like we're shedding a lot. We've grown tremendously, even in the past 6 months. based on what I feel intuitively and energetically. Okay. And I feel like that is going to continue because I feel throughout the remainder of the year, we're going to be continuing to get like bombarded, if you will, with upgrades and activations and all the things. So I feel like things are going to start looking different as we move out of July. But I do feel like it could start to make its appearance in the month of July, like seeing these things transform. You may even yourself or experience people around you who are like, okay, I'm doing this now, right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like I like shedding, like leaving things behind. Like, I no longer want that job. I no longer want that relationship. I no longer want whatever crap, just crap that you keep around your house, right? You may find yourself going through this shedding and like just finding yourself like, that doesn't feel good to me. That doesn't feel good to me. I don't like this song. I don't like these kind of music anymore. Or these kind of movies, excuse me, anymore. Like you may find yourself almost feeling in a state of limbo because you've experienced these activations and these things are taking place where we're transforming on a grand scale, right? As a collective, as a whole, and as individuals. And I feel like it's happening much faster than maybe what we planned, right? The soul plan that we drafted before we came and incarnated on this planet. I feel like it may be happening more quickly than what we have anticipated or what we expected. We You guys, this is amazing. We also have here morning dew, clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook. Yes. I feel like this is how these things are going to be being showing up in your life. I feel like you may gain clarity. You may gain a new positive outlook because you're releasing a lot of energy that you weren't meant to be holding on to for this long anyways, right? Likely a lot of victim stories, a lot of woundings and trauma, and especially the programming being released, right? All of the things that we've been taught by society, culture, our family that must be done. For example, you must put family first. You must work hard in order to be valuable, blah, 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 blah. Right? I feel like we're releasing a lot of that. And I do feel like as we close out July, I do feel like for many of us, we're going to be feeling like we're on a new page, like we are stepping into a fresh start, that we are essentially stepping through this doorway here to experience something brand new. Amazing. I do want to share with you that this transformation, this death and rebirth, for some of you, not all of you, but for some of you, I feel like this started taking place earlier in the year, right? And as you've moved through it, I feel like the clarity and fresh start, the positive outlook may start to make its way into your reality throughout the month of July. We also have your open, say yes, expand through the extremes, trust life. Yeah, I mean, this is really like when we go through transformation, right? Death and rebirth, oftentimes we experience this limbo state because we're moving from one way of being, but aren't yet full on in the next way of being, the next level, right? And so I feel like it will feel extreme in the sense of like you may have tons of energy one minute and the next minute feel completely exhausted, and you're like, where did this even come from? I was fine like 2 seconds ago, right? And I feel like this is because we're experiencing so many downloads, so many activations, we're releasing so many things that it's like our body is struggling to keep up, which is why I feel that energy of it's important for us to listen and take care of our body this month is so prominent, right? So it does feel to me like there's this energy of like, say yes, keep going, trust life, trust that things are going to work out, everything's going to smooth over, right? Trust it. Say yes, walk through that doorway, say yes to the transformation, say yes to the rebirth, right? Be open to experiencing something completely different, something completely new, something completely fresh, right? Be open to that extreme, because I feel like you could feel one minute like you are like way down in the valley and the next you're on top of the mountain. Take that as it resonates with you. Maybe you're a hiker of some kind or a climber of some kind. If that resonates with you, there's definitely something here for you. This is beautiful. We also have here after the rain, silver lining, relief, hope, mercy, it's over, acceptance. And again, I feel like this transformation process has been hard. And I feel like how do I word this, please? I'm going to be really, honest with you and say, like, my faith, not that it's disappeared, right? Or I've lost faith, but I've had moments where I'm like, oh, this is kind of rough, right? This is rough. Going through some of these transformations, these deaths and rebirths. And I feel like this energy of, again, clarity, a fresh start, positive new outlook, with all of this energy of after the rain, like things are going to get better. There's a silver lining. I feel like this is confirmation to say, hey, all of the crap that you've been going through is getting ready to transform, right? You're going to gain relief, reprieve, all the things. Like, you're going to find that hope again. You're going to see that silver lining, right? And we're moving on. Okay. I do feel like not everyone will know how to essentially take that step through the doorway, right? I feel like there are some who will be holding on to the old paradigms, the old ways of being, and they will remain as such. They'll continue to probably suffer and experience lack and other things. But for those that have kept their faith and are allowing these things to happen, trusting life and expanding, growing, learning through the extremes, I feel like there's almost like a happy surprise. Like, oh, right? That energy of, like I was saying, you might be in the valley one day and then on the top of the mountain the next. Because I feel like it feels almost sudden to me, right? So that may be how this is showing up in your life. But I do feel like for many of you, even if your faith has kind of been tested, we'll say, I feel like you've maintained faith overall, right? We also have here, we are nature, becoming grounded, embodiment, living in connection. Now, what's fascinating about this to me is, again, I said I felt like our body is important for this month. And becoming grounded has a lot to do with you sitting in your human, being here on this planet, experiencing life on planet Earth, all the ups and downs, all the crazy, all the everything. Right? It has a lot to do with that. And I feel like this is part of us sinking into that space. I also feel that there is a need for many to get out into nature, to really reconnect with the trees and the birds and the animals and the sun and the water, right? Really kind of, for some of you, I feel like this immersion of being outside, being out in nature. Maybe you go for like a long vacay and go hiking or, something, right? But it feels like this energy of being in nature and allowing that to help you sink into your human. I am going to read this card from the book, though. I feel like I should. Oftentimes I just read the cards intuitively, but every once and again I get the need, like I did with this Orion activation, to read what the book has to say, because there may be important threads of information in there for some or for everyone. All right, okay, so first, my voice is kind of going like I just started to a little bit. So I feel like there may be some truth in here that maybe not everyone is speaking to themselves or acknowledging or expressing or something along those lines. We'll see. It says here, we've built a world on top of the world. If you look up the word nature in a dictionary, you'll see a reference to plants, animals, and landscapes as opposed to humans. We speak of getting into nature or getting grounded as something we need to do. We've forgotten that we don't exist in nature. We are nature. Indigenous earth-based traditions have always seen the planet and Indigenous earth-based traditions have always seen the planet and all beings as interconnected and sacred, humans as one with the earth itself. The earth and Mother Rose are calling us back to the earth, to weave the sacred back in, to weave nature back into the center of our everyday lives, to see ourselves as nature, and to spend more time interacting with the living natural world. Returning to nature. How's your connection with nature? What's your relationship with your own body? Like I was saying, right? Which is interesting. I've never read this card before, at least not that I recall. And so it's really fascinating that this is in here. What's your relationship? How can you live in a more grounded way? This card is an invitation to develop a deeper connection with the earth, to actively spend time with the physical natural world around you, to tend to it and take your place as a custodian of it, to see the sacred in all life, to notice the changing seasons around you and within you, and to remember that you too are part of the earth's ever-changing landscape, to remember that you are nature and that you'll always find your true nature in nature, to embrace your body as your home and the planet as your mother. How can you connect more deeply with nature and your own true nature? How can you return more to the earth? So here's what's interesting about this is I do feel, and some of you may resonate with this, okay? If you've gone through an awakening, for example, for me at the beginning of my, what I would say is like me being aware of my awakening, right? Like acknowledging this is what's happening. There were times where I was like, I cannot wait to get off this planet, right? Which is the furthest, it's so far from the truth right now, right? But when I first started and I was shown and made aware of a lot of the things going on the planet that I was oblivious to before, I was like, I don't want to be here. I mean, I did, but it's like, can I go home yet? When I found out like my soul doesn't originate from the planet, right? It's like, can I go back to wherever I came from last? Because this isn't fun anymore. This is not fun, right? And I feel like that energy at the end there, where it talks about grounding into your body and grounding to the fact that you are on this planet and a part of it, like you may resonate with this, right? This may be speaking to you because you may have been in this energy of like, there's the world is like, there's a whole lot of fuckery going on and I don't know if I want to be part of it. So you may have felt yourself like being in that kind of energy. And this is a reminder to you that you're here for a reason, right? You're here to help to bring us back to nature, to help us bring, or excuse me, to help bring us back to being connected to self, to being connected to our body, being connected where we are, right? And really using that connection for the benefit of all. Very interesting. Let's get some clarity on all of this, all of these things going on. First out here, we have the Knight of Swords. This is an action card. I mean, really, like this is taking action. This is defending beliefs. And this could be why. So first of all, I want to say for some, there's this action that's been taken that's allowed this transformation to take place, this death and rebirth to take place, right? And then there is this energy of like defending beliefs or defending the old guard, living in, pardon me, living in fear. I just had come up again, right? Living in fear and not allowing that transformation to happen. So for some within the collective, I feel like, and you may see this, right? In your tribe, your community, what have you, you may see this where some are like, okay, I'm letting this die, whatever this is. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a job, maybe it's a living situation, maybe it's a habit or a pattern, right? Maybe you're like quitting smoking, like I talked about in the beginning, right? I feel like there are people who are letting these things die, and then there are others who are holding on to that stuff, like defending it, right? Like the vibrational frequency of the planet's trying to move into a new way of being, and there are some on this planet who are gripping onto that, who don't want to, or rather don't know how to let that energy go because they don't know how to be any other way. And that's something that's scary. The unknown is scary for most people, for most souls. Well, for most people, not souls, but people. Okay. So I feel like there's almost like a split here, right? In the collective, which is maybe why we have so many tarot cards. Another Knight is coming out, which is again another energy of action. Okay. The Knight of Cups, however, is an action of following one's heart and being an idealist. Again, I feel like some are doing this. Like I feel like some have taken on this belief of following your heart, like being an idealist, like, okay, everything will work out, like it'll be fine one way or the other. I'm protected. And I don't mean that in like an arrogant way where you're just going out running around the world willy-nilly, like doing all the things and don't care about the consequences. That is not what I'm saying. Let's be real. This is more about, this is what fills my cup. This is what makes me feel fulfilled. This is what brings me happiness, what brings me love, what brings me joy and peace. Cups are emotions, right? It's also your spirituality, love, relationships, feelings, right? All those sorts of things. And I feel like there's this energy of I'm going to take action and follow what makes me feel good. I'm going to follow my heart and take action on those things, because I feel like you're starting to understand or have been made aware of that when you do that, things just seem to kind of work out the way they're supposed to. But this is definitely about taking action. Okay? King of Pentacles showing up here as well, which, here's the thing. I feel like we're following our heart, right? And we're being that kind of idealist because, again, we understand that this is where, how do I word this? When we follow our heart, we find abundance. Like the divine father, okay? Which I just want to say, for me, okay, for me as a reader, the King of Pentacles shows up for me often as the divine father or the creator. Why? Because this is an energy of abundance, prosperity, generosity, and of the provider. Okay? Here's the thing about the King of Pentacles as well. There's almost like a routine to things, right? Things have a way of working. And that's why the King of Pentacles has become so successful, because he's figured it out. He's figured out the ways that work good and the ways that don't, and he's ready to share that knowledge. And I feel like similarly, the way that God works is pretty much straightforward. It doesn't really change very much. There's not really any variation because they're the laws of the universe, right? So it's like this energy of, hey, when I make moves and I follow my heart, the divine creator provides. Abundance follows. Things happen. They just seem to kind of work out, right? It's often when we stop following our heart or stop following our intuition, or, and let fear lead the way, that we start to experience a lot of struggle and stress and hardship, right? And we start to wonder, like, why does everything seem to be going awry? We experience those kind of like tower moments because we stop following what our soul knows is best for us. And it tries to redirect us like, hey, this is not the path you're supposed to be on. Let's go back that way, right? Ace of Wands. This is, first of all, the wands are about new beginnings, opportunity, potential. And the Ace of Wands here is about creation, willpower, inspiration, and desire. And I feel that what we are trying to create, what we're trying to bring forward, what we're trying to experience is this energy of, first of all, like creating our own reality. Like that's standing out very big to me, right? Because I was talking about following our own heart, because we realize that when we do that, abundance follows, right? So it's like I'm co-creating my own reality. I'm learning this and understanding this and saying yes to the things that make me feel inspired, yes to the opportunities and potential for creating new things, for experiencing new things, for fulfilling my desire. I'm following those things because there's this fire within me that I cannot put out, right? This is fascinating to me, you guys. Fascinating. The wheel in reverse. How interesting to show up. So the wheel, first of all, it's a 10. So it is a sign of completion, end of cycle, renewal. Okay. It doesn't matter that it's in reverse. The number is still the same regardless. Okay. So that is interesting because, again, we have that renewal energy showing up quite a few times here for us, or that re-energy. But the wheel in reverse can feel like bad luck, lack of control. But I feel like there are some here. It's interesting. It almost feels like there's some who feel like following your heart and like going out on a whim and kind of being an idealist is a foolish thing to do, because it's like you are essentially releasing control, right? But I feel like this only feels foolish to those who are kind of stuck in the old ways of being, right? It feels to me like this wheel in reverse. It's very interesting. I'm reading this purely intuitive, you guys, but it feels to me like this lack of control is like we're surrendering control, right? We're surrendering control to the universe, to the divine creator, like essentially like whatever will be, right? I don't need to control all the things, right? And there are some of you who I may feel or who I feel may be struggling to release that control, right? Especially with that split taking place, right? Those who like don't really know how to maneuver through new energies and they're fearful or whatever, right? But it feels to me like for some it's like I'm surrendering control because I'm having faith that everything will be fine, right? I'm releasing that control. So I feel like the lack of control is actually something that may be kind of beneficial because I feel like it takes the weight of needing to have it all figured out off from your shoulders, right? It takes that weight of like, I need to know all the things. I need to make, I don't know. It feels like we're setting down burdens that we didn't need to carry or weren't meant to carry in the first place. In other words, it's God's job, not ours, right? Look at this, another 10 of swords in reverse. So the swords, 10 of swords in reverse is that energy of like, it can only go upwards from here. Also can be the energy of an inevitable end, which I feel is basically what's taking place here. Like the vibration of the planet is rising. And there are those who are going to struggle with the ending of the old way of being, but it's inevitable. It's inevitable. There's too many, how do I word this, please? It's like there's too many high vibrational beings plugged into this cause for it to fail, is essentially what I'm getting, right? Like there are too many healers, too many light workers, too many beings of love and light who are spreading that shit like wildfire. And it's like, it's inevitable. The old way of being is ending. The bad luck is ending, right? Because the wheel in reverse can be like bad luck, right? It can feel like fortune is like missing you, right? Like skip over you. But I feel like this is coming to an end, right? Because I feel like we're moving into a new space. It's very interesting to me. I also feel so in the upright, the 10 of swords is often this energy of like betrayal. Okay. And I feel like we're done betraying ourselves. We're done tricking our own mind. We're done telling ourselves these bullshit stories about how we're just unlucky or we just like I don't even know. It feels like where we just kind of have to accept like this is the way it is. This is the hand I've been dealt, right? And I feel like we're letting that go and moving more into this energy of like, no, when I follow what I want, I create my reality and I provide, or I let me rephrase that. The divine creator provides for me everything that I need to bring that creation into fruition, to be the creator. So I don't have to sit in this freaking wheel going around, taking me on a spin, bringing in all this bad luck. But I feel like we're closing out a cycle and probably a significant one, right? For 2 tens to show up in a reading. Also 4 of Pentacles, this is an energy of security, conservation, being frugal, holding things close to you, right? And I do feel like there are some, again, who are struggling to let go of this energy, right? Who don't realize that there's an ending coming no matter what, and they're clinging to that old way of being. And I feel like those people are going to be experiencing the energy throughout the month a bit more harshly than others. I also, I feel I'm going to read, if I can find, yeah, right there. I'm going to read from the book because the guidebook here has little things describing what this card means for this deck based on the artist or the creator, right? The author of the deck. And I want to read this to you. It says, oh, so here's the thing. I opened up. I really did think I was in the right spot, but I just want to show you. I opened up to the Four of Wands. You guys, I do know how to read, I promise. But I feel like there's a reason for everything. Okay. And I just want to share with you, the Four of Wands is a card of celebration, prosperity, reaching an important milestone, the gathering of souls, like community, right? That sort of thing. Your home as well. It can also be about marriage. And I feel for some of you, there is going to be potentially something to celebrate by the end of the month. Okay. Let me actually find this card now. What am I looking for? I cannot believe I did that. But again, there's a reason for everything. So this says here with this Four of Pentacles, it says stability, savings, success, generosity, accepting your worth, being in flow with the universe. There it is, folks. That's why there are times you have to read the thing and it's like, okay, yep, that's not something that I was picking up on. That's the thread I needed. Helping others in the times of need as well. It says here, you're building your life coin by coin, and you've reached a moment of stability. Getting here signifies an interval when you can rest, reevaluate, there's those words again, and take stock. Likely you are being reminded to double check those foundations and to save some money for a rainy day. How do you feel about your finances? Continue toward your goal without over-focusing on your possessions, and let go of any jealousy derived from another person's position in life. Negative feelings around abundance will breed energy blockages big enough to hold back even the most magical of trajectories. The tighter you try to hold on to things, the more you block yourself from stepping into the flow of wealth and happiness. If a scarcity mindset is haunting your actions, ask yourself if you are looking down on others based on how much money they have or don't have. Actively save and give in the world and focus on feeling excited and expansive. So what's interesting about this is I said that it feels to me like there's kind of a split going on, right? And I do feel like there's a split for those that are holding on to things, right? Clinging tight, right? Clinging tight, which, okay, that's fine if that's what you want to do. But no, when you cling tight to things, you block yourself from experiencing other things, right? Abundance, people, the divine creator, universe, all the things, you block yourself from that, right? So I feel like that's important. And I also feel like there's this energy here, right? Of like lack of control, or like releasing control I'm getting with this card, right? And realizing that the only way to go from here is up, and we're reaching this inevitable end of old ways of being. The thing that's standing out here to me is like we're deciding to not block ourselves, right? Because we're just stepping into this state of flow. Like the universe will provide, the divine creator will provide. Like I'm trusting my intuition, I'm following the things that I feel called to do, and the universe will essentially reward me for that, right? We know it's just you getting in alignment, you getting into flow, but others may not see it that way. And I feel like those who don't see it that way are clinging to the old ways of being and tightening themselves from receiving, right? And you may even see these people, right? You may witness this in your reality. You may see these people experiencing almost like more reason for feeling like they're lacking. So for example, somebody clinging to something may experience an unexpected something to pay for this month, right? Like, and I feel like there could potentially be sitting in this energy of lack, right? And tightening up to receiving those blessings. And I feel like for others, you're opening up to the flow, right? Knowing that everything's going to be fine. It's okay for me to give. It's okay for me to save either way, because I know that the universe is taking care of me. I know that things will be fine. Yeah, have the Queen of Pentacles out here as well. So divine connections may be at a forefront this month between divine masculine and divine feminine energies. You may find people coming together, marriages happening, commitments happening, business partnerships taking place perhaps. And what's interesting is like the king and queen are facing each other, right? But they're facing each other through new energies, through releasing control, through letting things end, and to not clinging too tightly, right? But here's the thing about the Queen of Pentacles, and I love this so much. The Queen of Pentacles, for me, especially in this deck, she's holding that pentacle. She's someone who's very resourceful. She has a very good understanding about what's available to her. She feels very secure, right? And maybe this is because some of you have been saving and giving both, and you've been understanding that when you give to the, like, when you surrender to flow, like things just kind of keep moving, right? Those resources keep flowing in. But the Queen of Pentacles, I feel, in this deck, she has that pentacle right there, right? And she looks very calm, collected, cool, comfortable. And I feel part of that is because she knows where things are coming from. In other words, the divine creator, the provider, like if you look at this, oh my gosh, I've never had this experience in a reading before. You guys are the first, whoever's watching this. So this for me is that energy of the Queen of Pentacles holding that pentacle. And she knows that she has all the resources she needs. Why? Because her pentacle, the resource that she taps into, is that of the divine creator. Now, this is purely my own intuitive understanding of this card at this point, today, right now. That's not to say that I don't get this more than today, because I do. This energy with the Queen of Pentacles and that energy with the King of Pentacles that I was just speaking on. Okay. But never before have I made this connection in this way. So if you look here, it's almost as if, okay, follow me here for a minute. It's almost as if the King of Pentacles is looking at the Queen of Pentacles like, I've got you, right? I've got you. That's what it looks like to me. I do apologize if you caught like a little shift there, because my camera just shut off for no reason. So I had to, and when I noticed it, I'm like, okay, I have to go back, right? And start talking about what I was talking about before the camera cut off. But I feel like the King of Pentacles is looking at this Queen of Pentacles, right? Which for me is that guidance, right? The divine father, like the Queen of Pentacles, like, I don't even need to see what's going on. Like, I know you've got my back. And the King of Pentacles is like, I've got you. I've got you through the new things. I've got you through what feels like bad luck. I've got you through inevitable ends. I've got you through those times where you feel like you may need to be scarce or what have you. Like, you are, let me rephrase that. I have all the resources you need. You are provided for, right? There's no need for you to stress and worry. Like, you are meant to be here. You're meant to be experiencing this life. And also, like, you're not meant to be in a state of suffering. And I feel like part of that suffering comes from that separation from divine creator, where we feel like we have to take on all the things on our own little human shoulders. And really, it's not meant for us to take on. It's meant for the divine creator to take on, right? So I feel like there's this energy of the divine creator saying, like, if you take action and follow your heart, like, I've got you. Period. I've got you. You have all the resources you need. I will see you through anything. Two of Cups. Yes. Similar. Like, so a lot of times this card, people often see this as like the soulmate card often, right? And it does make sense that it's out in that respect, in the sense of the King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles being out here, divine counterparts. So again, you could have people coming together in unity, partnership, again, like commitment, that sort of thing. But I feel like this is that connection, right? That unity between you and the divine creator, and you following the things that fill your cup, and the divine creator filling that cup because you're following what feels good. You're following what's filling your cup. You're following those things, and what you put out, you get more of, right? So you giving back to yourself is allowing essentially the divine creator to give to you. And I want to share, like, I just looked up and we were at 222. So I had to start a new video, right? Like I was saying, 2 minutes, 22 seconds, and we're holding the Two of Cups. So again, I feel like that is confirmation saying, like, divine creator's like, I'm here in this partnership with you, helping you to co-create your reality. And I'm dumping into your cup all of the things that you need in order to keep giving to the planet, in order to keep growing, in order to keep expanding, in order to fulfill your purpose here on this planet. It's pretty powerful if you ask me. And I feel like there's this energy here as well of that connection right here with we are nature, right? You see that living in connection. We have connection showing up here at the tail end of both of these. And I feel like it's about the connection or the interconnectedness of all things, right? Including the divine creator, including nature, including the downs and the ups, right? We would not know the light if we didn't know the dark. Okay. And I love, here's the thing I want to share with you. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. Let me just check and make sure I'm not talking crap. Yeah. Every single one of these beings, right, on these cards, except for these two and the ones with their backs turned, of course, because we don't know. Except for these two energies here, all have their eyes closed. Like I can run you through them. This one you can't see the back of either, or the front of, excuse me. So I don't know. But look, eyes closed. I hope you can see that on film. Eyes closed. 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 Okay. Closed. When we turn the wheel up, right, her eyes are closed. The Ten of Swords, the back is turned, so we don't know. But the Four of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles both also have their eyes closed. What does that say to me? We are learning to surrender and have faith. We are learning to not be able to control or see the outcome of things and still moving forward. We are learning that we don't have to see the things to know that they're real. We don't have to see the things to feel our way through life, to move through life. We don't have to see the things with our physical eyes. We can feel our way through life using our intuition, using the connection we have with our divine creator, right? You get those things like, oh, I feel like maybe I shouldn't go do that. It feels off, so don't do it. Or, oh, I really feel called to go do this. Go do it. Right? Discern, is it your intuition or your ego speaking? And if it's your intuition, off to the races. Release any fear if it's your intuition. I just had fear energy coming up. Yeah, again. This feels like a deep one, right? I feel like this is a deep thing that we're releasing, this sense of, like needing to know all the details or needing to see the end result or needing to see what we're getting ourselves into. Now, I'm not saying you should go all willy-nilly, right? And like do things that are detrimental to your health or your well-being or anything like that, right? I'm not saying, oh, let me just jump out of a plane. God will catch me. No, let's be real here. Okay. But if your intuition is speaking to you, I feel like there's this energy of like, go for it. Because all of these beings' eyes are closed. They're surrendering. They're moving with the things, right? Saying yes, trusting life. And I feel as you do that, you're going to see and experience this relief, this connection with all things. The angels are saying to us, look at this, manifesting miracles. Archangel Orion, thank you, Orion, for manifesting your miracles in my world. Like I was saying, like I really do feel like as we follow our intuition, we experience things coming in, things happening that we didn't before that. We experience things that we wouldn't have experienced had we still clung tight to the old ways of being, right? So I feel like your angels want you to know, want us to know that we are manifesting our miracles. This is a time of powerful manifestation. And as I film this, we are in a full moon, or getting ready to move into a full moon energy, which is all about harvesting the intentions and wishes from previous moons, right? And I feel like these things are going to be coming into fruition. I feel like you're going to start to have the reason for that positive outlook, right? Trusting life. I feel like that silver lining is coming, or it's there rather. We have spiritual abundance. Get out of here. Thank you, angels, for blessing me with infinite abundance. Isn't this interesting? This is going to be placed right beneath that King of Pentacles, which is all about abundance. This is essentially for me, God saying, look, my hands are in everything. Everything. And I do feel like you're experiencing abundance on various levels, even if that's not necessarily a monetary one. Okay. Like I feel like you may be experiencing an abundance of relaxation, an abundance of self-love, or feeling called to love yourself, an abundance of awareness, an abundance of knowledge, an abundance of people, relationships, love. Like I feel like there's a lot of things pouring in that are not necessarily things that you can touch with your hands. But I do feel like there's abundance flowing in, and I feel very called to share that she does have a handful of coins or pentacles, which is being set beneath this King of Pentacles or coins. So for some of you, I feel like the miracles coming in is that financial support that you need in order to bring that stability in. And your angels do want you to know that. Yeah, it's so fascinating to me how these cards are just basically repeating the same messages. God's saying, I said what I said. Live your joy. Thank you, angels, for supporting me as I follow my joy. In other words, thank you for helping to lead me to things that are going to bring me happiness, which continues to perpetuate more happiness and bring in more things. Right? The more you follow your joy, the more you follow your heart, the more you follow and give back to yourself and honor yourself and follow what you're being called to do, the more that stuff continues to come in. Right? And we're talking here about following those inspirations, those ideas, those the things that we want to create, the things that bring us and ignite our fire and bring that passion in, right? The Wand's energy is passion and energy. It's action and inspiration, right? And I feel like that is why this Live Your Joy card is here, come out at this time to be placed beneath that Ace of Wands, right? That inspiration, that creation, that fire being ignited, right? It's like, follow the things that bring you joy. This is how you're going to continue to create more. We have Clear Your Vibes, Archangel Metatron. Thank you, Metatron, for clearing my energy field. I feel like this is about, again, release, right? We're releasing, we're shedding the things. And I feel like if you feel like you're struggling with this, or you may be struggling with this, or don't know how to do this, call upon Archangel Metatron. I feel like he's stepping forward to say, hey, I'm here, right? I'm here. I'm listening. I will support you. Because thank you. I'm getting this energy of like, it's all hands on deck, right? It's all hands on deck. And I do feel like as we move out of July, right, and into August and the remainder of the year, excuse me, I do feel like that energy of like miracles and abundance is going to continue to grow. Not for everyone, because you have to be in a particular vibrational frequency to experience like an abundance of miracles, right? There's a certain frequency that has to be held with that, which is not the easiest thing to do, by the way. And I feel like not everybody is going to be able to do that, right? So if you experience an abundance of miracles, like, no, it's because you've worked to get into that vibrational frequency, but be mindful of always clearing your energy. Here we go again, the miracle of nature. Thank you, angels, for helping me to reconnect through nature and fresh air. All right, I'm going to read this one to you guys too. I feel like it's like you read the other one. You should read this as well. Let me just find this book, though. It's hidden in here somewhere. Okay, the miracle of nature. Give me 1 second to find this, please. Okay, here we go. No, not yet. Right here. Okay. Here we go. It says here, the angels are encouraging you to take yourself outside and connect with the miracle of nature. A miracle is a shift of perception, and the angels can see that there are many thoughts in your head that are making you feel confused and even unsure as to what you're supposed to be doing. Holy crap, I picked up on the energy, and you guys, I've never read this card. This is my first time. I've had this deck for, I don't know, maybe a month now or so, and I've never read this card, so it's fascinating to me. Take some time to go outside and connect with Mother Nature. Breathe fresh air into your lungs and disconnect from whatever's happening in your home, relationships, or work. As you walk and connect with nature, you will open yourself up to divine guidance from heaven and earth. Didn't I say that? Is there an echo in here? God's saying I said what I said. Period. You may feel locked in or may have been spending far too much time indoors. Whatever the weather, there is something powerful and enlightening about going outside and connecting with the sound and songs of nature. Go outdoors and walk. Speak to your angels and enjoy the beauty of the plants, countryside, or park that you connect with. As you walk and breathe, know that there are angels all around you, helping you to enjoy the simple things in life and encouraging you to disconnect from trivial dramas that aren't serving your purpose. I love it. I love it. And I feel like it's so important, right? I feel like it's so important. It's showing up more than once here, right? And it's saying like, this is something that needs our attention. So if you do feel called to get out of nature, right, follow that intuition and allow yourself the time to do that. Honor yourself by doing that, okay? We have here, shine your light, Archangel Uriel. Thank you, Uriel, for helping me to share my light with the world. And I feel like this is part of the process that we're going through, right? So we can step more into this energy of being rebirthed by light. I do feel like for a lot of you, if you're here, you are likely someone who already shined your light into the world. But I do feel like there's, what's the word, please? Yes, like tweaking taking place, right? To allow you to shine even brighter, to allow you to essentially be that like supernova, right? I don't know why, but when I think of supernova, like it's like a star exploding. And so I think of this big, huge, bright flash of light, right? And it's almost like adding more fuel to the fire, as it were, right? And I understand that a supernova burns out after this explosion often, but it provides all of this material for new stars to be born. I feel like there is this energy here of essentially, for whatever reason, however this works, is by essentially like giving you more things to shine your light about. Maybe some of you will even become a testimony to miracle, to God's creation, God's work. But I feel like there's that thing of like, again, if it's being tweaked, it's like we need to shine even brighter. We need to bring more beings like come and see, like, how are you shining your light so bright? How are you doing so good? How are you feeling so good? It's like, oh, come and see. Let me share with you. Let me show you, right? And like adding more people to your light, adding more fuel to your light. And I'm getting this energy of like that supernova explosion again is like a testimony, like, hey, you know, you want to come over here and see what this is all about, because all of these things are happening in this space. It's a really interesting energy, but I do feel like there are things that may be happening that are helping you to shine even brighter in the world, share even more with the world. Maybe you're learning a lot, right? I just feel like there's a lot of like work being done. And I feel like it's tweaking your light, right? As we release other things and lower vibrational frequencies, we allow higher vibrational frequencies to come in. And I feel like that perpetuates that light even more, right? It burns even brighter. The more high vibrational frequency we bring in, the brighter our light shines. And I feel like that is the purpose of this month, is to really clear away some of the shit, take care of our vessel, make sure we're at like peak performance, if you will, or as best as we can be, because what comes to the remainder of the year, we're going to need that. We're going to need that fuel. We're going to need that extra oomph. We're going to need that, okay, I'm well rested, right? I can do the things. That's what it feels like. You also have, or we rather also have here, you are protected. Archangel Michael, thank you, Michael, for surrounding me with your protective light. So not only are you, essentially is your light being, what is the word? Expanded. The reach of your light being expanded, but you're also protected by Archangel Michael and his light, right? So it's this energy of like, look, when you follow what you feel, when you follow those inklings you get, you follow your heart, like know that you're protected. The divine creator's like, I'm protecting you through all of these things. Know that you're being protected, right? Know that we are in co-creation together. We are in unity together. We are one, and I am protecting you. So that's pretty incredible because, you know, a lot of times we're like, oh gosh, if I do this, what's going to happen? Right. And I feel like this is saying, like, you are protected. And I feel like this is probably being made apparent to you, or has been. You may feel that as well, right? You may feel it within your being. And finally, we have transformation. Archangel Zadkiel. Thank you, Zadkiel, for supporting me to transform from my past challenges. Yeah, we're releasing the petals. We're shedding the things so we can create this incredible change, right? And again, I feel like it's a big one. I feel like it's a big change, right? And I feel like we're getting these activations and going through the things. And it's like, okay, when things settle just a little bit, right, that relief comes. It's like we're that, how do I word this? We may give ourselves the permission to kind of settle into our bodies a little bit, right? Like I can relax into myself. I can relax into my human a little bit more. Maybe that's really interesting. I don't know where that's coming from. Maybe that resonates with somebody specific. But I do feel like we're going through a big transformation throughout this month. And I feel like you will see that as we move throughout the rest of the year. You'll see like the fruits of your labors, or the efforts that you've made during this transformative time, appear, manifest in your physical world. And I feel like you'll be like, oh yes, this is what happened, right? So very, very interesting energies for the month of July. Let's take a look at the bottom of the deck, what we don't see coming, what we don't yet understand or has not yet been shown to us, perhaps. So at the bottom of the deck here, we do have inner earth, base chakra, security, or strength and security, laying foundations. Yes, I feel like all of this that we're going through right now is laying that foundation for what we're going to be building upon throughout the remainder of the year. And I feel like this is an important time for this, right? It's like we have to make sure the foundation is laid first. We had to make sure throughout the beginning of the year that these things happened, that these things took place, so that as we start adding to these things, we have something strong and secure, so that everything doesn't come crumbling out from beneath us because we didn't deal with the root things. We didn't deal with the base things. We didn't lay proper foundation, right? So I feel like though this may feel throughout the month like challenging, right? Though it may feel very testing to your faith and to your intuition, and it may feel very testing to you as a person, like, gosh, can I handle this or no? Know that this is because there's a shift being made foundationally, and it's imperative for your future growth, right? These things are being tested, and you're being made, or rather being shown how do I word this, please? You don't know how to deal with something if you've never dealt with it, right? So it's like you're being shown these things so that when you experience these things, if you experience similar things, moving forward, you're like, oh, I know how to deal with these things, right? I know how to move through these things. I've been prepared for this. I've laid foundation that's strong and secure. So this thing happening is not going to shake me from that, right? I know how to move through this energy with ease. So it's not going to bring everything crumbling down around me, right? We also have lineage of the rose moved by the goddess here for this soul call and gather. So here's what I'm picking up with this particular card being at the bottom of the deck. I feel, first of all, like after the month of July, some of you may be experiencing new souls coming in, or feeling called to certain people or places because it's part of your soul plan. For others, I feel like it is part of your soul plan, but it's a part of healing your lineage or your ancestral line, right? And those are the things that you've come here to do. Some of the reasons why you've incarnated here. I also feel like for some of you, maybe this is really interesting energy that I'm picking up on. Some of you may have felt called to like start praying or talking to God or a creator or the universe or what have you. And you may have been like, why am I like, I've never felt called to do this before. It's so weird. Maybe you feel uncomfortable doing it or something. But I feel like this is because you're being moved by the divine creator, right? Like I feel like you feel or notice or sense, even if it's something that's just energetic and it's not maybe something you're consciously like, oh yes, this is what it is. I feel like you're being moved by the divine creator, and you on some level know this is happening. And so it's like instinctively, you're talking to God, you're talking to the creator, you're talking to angels, right? I don't know. Let me know if that resonates with you. It's wild. But I do feel like some of you may have been called back to like prayer or something of that nature. Okay. And it's almost like divine creator is like, hey, come back home. Right? Hey, trust in me. Hey, come over here. We have love on this side. Something like that, right? But I do feel like many of you are feeling this soul call to different places, different people, saying yes, gaining courage, following your heart, right? And I feel like it's because you're like, I'm here to experience this life. I'm not here to experience whatever the heck that is, or whatever in the heck we've been experiencing, right? I'm here for this. This is why I signed up to be here in this incarnation at this time. And we have the Three of Wands at the bottom of the tarot, which is expansion, right? This is what we don't see coming. Through all of this stuff that's going on through the month of July, it's like we don't realize how much we're truly expanding. And I do feel like for some of you, this is an energy of like you're waiting for your ships to come in. Right? Like I feel like you're like, I've done a lot, like rapid growth, man. I feel like there's a period here of like rapid growth, and we don't necessarily realize that because it doesn't feel like things are moving, right? There's this after the rain, the silver lining and relief, right? And I feel like we're like, where's the silver lining? Where is the relief? Where's the hope? Where's the mercy? Right? Type of thing. And it's like, I feel like you've probably grown significantly without even realizing it. And those things are coming, like your ship is coming in, right? You've got to be patient and know that you've done the work necessary, right? But also know that like, there are times when you'll feel called to take action and you can't just stand on the freaking shoreline. You got to go catch that wave. So be aware and open to those opportunities, okay? And finally, and this one's moving too, fair. At the bottom of the Angel Prayers deck, we have Peaceful Warrior, Archangel Uriel. Thank you, Uriel, for helping me to stand my ground with peace. In other words, thank you for helping me to choose myself and not fight with people about it. That's the energy I'm getting. And she has her hand up with this like staff. And to me, the staff is like, listen, this is what I'm doing. And the hand up is like, I don't have to explain myself to you. I don't have to make it make sense to you. I don't have to do anything but choose me. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Okay? That's beautiful because that's incredibly strong. Now, the other card that was moving on the top is balance. Thank you, angels, for bringing my life into balance. And I feel like this is what is happening. We're releasing a lot of old things, shedding our old skin, as it were, and bringing that balance in because we're releasing the negative energy, the lower vibrational frequencies, and bringing in those higher vibrational frequencies, allowing ourselves to align with the things that are of a high vibrational frequency, like joy, happiness, peace, success, abundance, prosperity, love, right? The whole 9 yards, compassion, understanding, all the things. And I feel like this is the basis for this entire thing that we're experiencing as a collective throughout the month of July, right? We're working to bring more balance into the world, into the collective, into humanity, right? Into each individual life, and I feel like this is the basis of it. Like we're trying to bring in more balance between collectives, divine masculine, divine feminine, balance into our own system within our body, right? Making sure we're getting plenty of rest and are also doing things that we love, right? Like getting out and being around people, but also taking time for ourselves, right? Experiencing the world, getting out there, but also, you know, putting a little bit of work in every now and again, right? It's this energy of bringing the planet and the collective back into a more harmonious, balanced state of being, so that again, as we move through the remainder of the year, we have these firm foundations to stand upon. We're not playing Jenga. essentially, right? Like, oh, I forgot that wound. Let me pull it out. No, 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 sweets. We're dealing with all the things. We're dealing with all the things. So we don't have to worry about that in the future, right? And I love that. So I hope that this reading has been helpful or valuable to you in some way, shape, or form throughout the month of July. I hope that it buoys your faith. I hope that it shows you that you are incredibly protected, incredibly supported, and incredibly loved by not only your divine creator or God or the universe, whatever you would like to call it, but also by your angels, also by the lineage that you have behind you and those that will come after you. You're supported by your ancestral line. You're supported by those you signed up with a soul plan to do things here with. You're supported by so much, right? So much. And I hope that you have come to realize that. I also hope that through this reading, if you've been feeling like, what is going on? You now have some sort of explanation or maybe some thread to pull on that may provide you with more. Maybe you get more curious and learn more modalities and other things that can help you through your journey as well, right? So lots and lots of information, but I really hope that there's been something valuable in here for you. Please do remember this is a general reading, not a personal reading, so only take what resonates with you, leave the rest, and don't let the reading take from you, okay? Thank you again so much for being here with me. I truly am so very grateful for you sharing your time and energy. If you found that something in this reading resonated for you, please do the YouTube things like share and or subscribe. It really does help the channel to grow, and it helps YouTube to know that there's something valuable here that others may want to see. So thank you for doing that. I truly am so very grateful for you. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing month. Take care of your beautiful, beautiful soul, and I hope to see you on the next one.